Oh, dang, we already got 4 people waiting. You popping? Hey, nah, this joint's about to be popping. It's about to be popping.
We never come forward and say we don't need capital.
No cap. To be capped up.
10 o'clock on the gram, no you should check me. Here for an hour, I promise this talk is heavy. I'm cooking, just getting started, don't go asking if it's ready. Nah, I'll be damned like we about to break a levee. I swear, all of this content push my conscience to a beautiful dark, twisted fantasy. I'm a monster, my posture looking like we was winning Oscars. Far from an act, but still acting like we got sponsors. Define us by the work we do, you know the work of few. Willing to get down in the trenches for the perfect view. So if you at me, then be sure to mention purpose too. And alignment, we own it, far from consignment. I seen the light, it was blind to contribute this all the time. And let it breathe till you find it. Get fresh, then set the table for guests. I told you that we was cooking, this compliments to the chef. Let's go.
Good morning, creative family, and welcome to another episode of Cooking the Late Night. I am your host, Cook, and as always, you know we here for the creative community. We want creative ownership, opportunity, power, all that, because no one man should have all that power. But when you're creative, you can run the world a little bit more than most. So with that said, I have a great show lined up for you guys, as a whole our team does. My guy Carnegie Harty in the building, and when I tell you he a shooter, I'm talking, the movie shooter with your boy in it. Like that's what he's like behind the camera lens. I mean, one of the illest snipers, and not just in the DMV, but just out there. So we're going to go through his journey, and we're really going to talk about what it means to kind of develop and to follow that creative stream and that vision, But with that said, y'all know we got to cook up, right? I got my guy A.N. fresh out of DuPont Brass coming in with the beat tonight. Hey, A.N., what's going on with you, Brody?
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ant coming to you live and direct from my bedroom. We on Cooking the Late Night tonight. About to cook up a beat for y'all. Let's see what we can do.
Hey, I bet, man. Well, look, you locked in. We locked in. For y'all tuning in YouTube, you're probably thinking either I'm a magician or I just made someone appear right next to me. You can bring that close to you. Get comfortable. Get comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, get comfortable, man.
It's my first time doing
Nah,
this.
man, no problem. Look, we'll work all that out. We got somewhat insurance. Mr. Harty.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, man. Please introduce yourself to those who aren't familiar.
Hello. My name is Carnegie Harty Jr. I'm a photographer.
And as simple as that sounds, it's not that easy to do what you do, So like, first, man, where did this path for like wanting to do photography come from for you?
I want to say the path was, I kind of got pushed on the road by my friends.
How's up?
Everyone just wanted pictures taken. They liked the angles I was taking at the time. And I want to say right after college, my buddy Yogi was shooting me up. Yo, seems like we do the same thing. Haven't seen you in about 5-6 years. Hey man, come hang out with the homies. And all the homies had cameras. So I was like, all right, this is what we're doing.
No, it's dope when the homies have cameras. Yeah. But I mean, talk about even prior to that then. Like, so what was college like? Like you talked about after college. Like, what was your major?
Man, I finished with a theology major and a Spanish minor.
Wow.
Yeah. I was just trying to graduate college. Honestly, college was a blessing. I went to Gettysburg College, graduated in 2013. But I did nothing creative. I had one friend, and I lived in a house of about 15 people called Peace House. I had one friend that she always painted or drew or had a camera on her, so it kind of just took me around. And we would just pick up stuff and, create. I learned what the creative freedom was like. Yeah. That was cool for college for me. I was playing sports. I was, college kid, J. Cole stuff.
I mean, that's valid because he definitely did take that college life and make it pop into. But I mean, so you get out of this space, like you get in a area where you're like, you know what? Hey, my friends inviting me by. I can come be a shooter. I'm about to be a shooter. But it wasn't even just that. Like, what was the feel?
competitive feel?
Really?
Because I'm coming from a sports background.
Okay, what was your sport?
Basketball.
Woohoo!
I was decent back in the day.
You run point?
I ran point to small forward. Same height, but I was dunking with like what 14.
Okay.
Ball was life. I was putting up different type of shots then. But ball was life.
So talk about like so that competitive edge is still a part of you, but talking about like finding that spirit in another venture.
Man, that spirit. So all right, I'll break it down to you. My grandmother always had a camera in her hand. And that was the spirit for me to pick up a camera and keep going and add the competitive edge on top of it. I feel like I always find that positivity when I take a picture. I get somebody to smile. That's that good energy. That's that good spirit that I get.
Yo, and let's shout. I mean, because you even be turned though. Like if we like look like,
oh wow, y'all are dope, boy.
Hey man, like talk about because you seem to genuinely love what you do.
Yeah, man.
Like
I do.
Like come on, that's
all right. I'll get there with you.
Yeah.
Honestly, having the camera in my hand takes me to everything I love. I don't know how what can I say on this show? I don't know.
You can say whatever you want. I promise.
I love women. I love weed, and I love food, and I love music. Women need pictures. The weed culture needs pictures.
Yeah.
They need food pictures, and they need music pictures.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the camera gets me closer to all of that.
You know what I love about that mindset, right? Because it's like leveraging your skill set just to get in the rooms you want to be in. Like I'm sure at this point it's a y'all gotta pay me kind of thing, but starting out, like talk about being a creative, being someone that's just like, yo, how can I counter this other expense in my life through my venture that may not be making money, And so when you saw that and you began to line up what doors it can open up for you, what went into like, all right, like how do I educate myself to be better in this field?
It was the competitive nature. I can't do that right now, but I'm going to find out how to do that. So, and now I know how to do it. I'm not going to want to do the same thing again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find someone who needs who has the need for what I do.
That's good.
I worked for an artist, and she kind of just told me. I asked her what she wanted, and she said, "I hired you for you." So that kind of just told me to keep doing me, and every shot, just keep doing me. That's kind of can't go wrong.
Nah,
that you can always be better. You can always do you better. That's what I believe.
Yo, and because one of your hashtags that I love when I was just going through and overviewing was like the shooter's always focused.
Oh yeah, man.
And that's such a detailed thought because like it's levels. Like, yo, all right, yeah, shooter. But like as a photographer, like talk about like how you talked about that competitive nature a little bit, but even further than that, like what was it that really kind of let you know that this was the path for you? Like, yeah, you cool and you competitive, but what moment solidified like follow this journey?
It was a homeless man in Portland, Oregon. And man, I was just looking for some trees.
Yeah.
Oregon's legal out there. And I'm walking, yeah. I was out the airport. That's my friend right there.
Hey man, I do my. Hey, we do. Hey, we'll bring it up because I think this is a good moment. Like we can talk about it a little.
Yeah. So this message right here, I was in Portland, Oregon, and this man gave me this message, and the message says, "Imagine one person caring for the next person more than anyone else." Just I'm summarize, give you just a quick synopsis of it. Imagine going without, and I didn't have any money to give this man, but I had something else to give him, the homeless man, and he goes, "Wow, man, thanks. You just gave me that and a smile. Imagine if you could keep giving the world smiles." And I was thinking about quitting photography. And he was just like, but the world needs that. So I sat with him for about 10 minutes. And he goes, watch this. You have a camera in your hand? Let's see how many people we can ask to smile. I said, all right, let's just try this. I'm like, no one's going to stop. People are judging us because we're sitting on the ground, homeless guy. He goes, excuse me, ma'am. People walking by. He goes, no, I just want you to smile. I want to share your smile. Man, we got about 15 pictures of people walking by just smiling for me. Wow. And just because all he wanted was a smile. Wow. And people thought that would cost so much to stop and give another person a smile,
experience, man.
Yeah, it was. That's crazy. I got that message, but yeah.
Nah, and because it was one that I thought was important, not just because of the fact that just the wording of it, but I looked into like what it meant to you a little bit more, and I was like, that is a moment. That's what separates it, and I think it's interesting how our trivial things that we do in life can sometimes lead us to those moments that connect to purpose. Like just trying cops a bud, it was like nothing crazy, normal day, but that day led to this one moment where you actually had an opportunity to really feel like I'm on track.
I felt like I had a purpose.
Yeah.
I literally was like, what am I doing taking pictures? And then I realized people felt happy about seeing themselves happy. It made me happy, man. Like,
so, all right. So look, you get this moment, right? It clicks. You get back east. Now, you originally from the DMV area?
Born and raised in Maryland. Atlanta, Maryland.
No, rep your set. You know what I mean? Y'all out here, PG County in the building. Y'all out here. So you get that message and you come back. What's the first thing you do with that inspiration? Like, where do you take something like that?
I don't remember where I went after that. I honestly kind of beat myself up a little bit. I went back to the creative board and it was stuck. I do remember that time. I was like, what's next? What am I supposed to be doing? I'm sitting at this 9-to-5 job that I'm blessed to have. Been there for 10 years. But what's next? And that's what I kind of took and just figured out what was next. And then, bam, music. My homies were in music. And I was like, I'm going to keep this music thing going.
Okay. So you became an artist yourself or
I'm sorry.
Like shooting?
I got closer to music by taking pictures of music.
Hey.
Capturing it. I'm sorry.
No. It's cool. you had to clear. No, hey. I want no bars.
What's
the flute or the clarinet?
Everything we all played in like 4th, 5th.
Oh yeah, the clarinet. We all got stuck with the clarinet. Actually, I got the violin.
Okay.
I was trash. Like literally, they gave me the Charlie Brown song in Christmas, Twinkle Twinkle, and I was trash. My parents hid that violin from me.
I would too.
I mean, they deserve. They should have. That was not the instrument for me. Just I'm over here, tee. Like I couldn't even pluck Twinkle Twinkle, let alone play it. But yeah, I mean, thank you, mom and dad, for at least supporting something, and then still supporting me in music later. We'll talk about that later. But you ain't just get close to music. You got close to like music, like legends, like.
Hey man,
like
so this I was finessing my way into Howard Theater at one point. And then I stopped looking at the show and I started looking at who was working the show. And I saw who was moving quicker than most because they've done this a million times. They're not worried about the show. Yeah. And I happened to see the right guy who saw me, the head photographer at the time, Nick Fullen. And he was like, hey, what you doing, man? I was like, honestly, I want to know, what do you do? And he kind of took me under his wing from there. And he started filling me in shows. And he didn't teach me much, but he showed me how to move properly. Yeah. Always be kind, smile, and be yourself. And don't let anyone else take your shot. That's what it was. So
wow, that's a bar.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
That's why it's a competitive. Dude, we're in the pit. I'm boxed out. Like I didn't like some folks for a while, even though they're my friends to this day. Like, nah, this is my shot.
But and I like that like in basketball kind of carry over to it, right? Yeah. And it shows like nothing happens by happenstance. Like everything kind of works out in alignment and timing. But I mean, for someone who's a viewer, we see that shot and like, oh my gosh, they're that close. But what's going through your mind in getting the shot? Like, do you ever like get lost in the moment? Because I got another one that I would have got lost in.
All the time. I would say, okay, now I do take a little bit of advantage of it, even though I'm not where I want to be. This is for me now. It's what's going to separate myself from anyone else. Is my angle right? Is the lighting hitting proper? Like in the split second, is my ISO correct? Is my shutter speed? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then I've practiced that moment so many times. Now it's okay. When's that downbeat going to hit? Energy. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that energy. I love to capture energy.
That's real.
I've seen so many shows that give you 15 minutes to capture, performance.
So talking energy. Let's talk this photo.
Okay.
Because energy.
Man, I don't even like that photo, to be honest.
Really?
And I'm blessed to have it. I have it hanging in my house. I've only printed out 2 of those. But that's when people go, it's a moment, and literally it was 5:25, 5:30 in the afternoon, evening. that's golden hour. So to have that moment for me, it's a little bit deeper now. But I don't believe at the time. I mean, I believe I was supposed to be there, but at the time, I finessed my way into Rocket City.
Really?
And I talked to everybody. I'm cool with everyone in Rocket City, but I did not have a proper press pass to be there. And I got there early on a Wednesday. I ran into the right person. They gave me an artist pass. I feel like I could walk wherever just off the hat that I had to say hello and be kind, be real with you. Yeah. And I was like, am I supposed to be here? No one stopped me. All right, bet. Snap, snap. Oh, it's a lot of people. Snap. And I just walked off. Heart attack. I was so nervous.
Wow.
But it was a moment. It was energy for me.
Yo, let's like dive into that mindset more though. Cause like that hustle spirit, I'm gonna get in the room. Like you did it at Howard Theater, which for those who may not be familiar, it's not just easy you can't just walk in the house though. Like that's not a thing. It's a whole entrance that's tight that you're going to get caught through. Like the hustle.
There's two ways to walk into the room. I say to all homies. It's literally you can walk in like, damn, everyone's looking at me, or damn, everyone's looking at me. You know, how are you going to walk into the room? And I walk in the room like I'm supposed to be here, but no one knows that. Literally, no one knows what I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't even know, but if I act like I'm supposed to be here, then hey, mind over matter, right?
Wow, that's fine. That's the exact space you want to be in, and that confidence is not. How'd you build it up? That's more than basketball. That's not basketball. Basketball don't get you in a room like that.
That was college.
Okay.
Being the only black guy in a white school, honestly, being like only black kid in a white class, and it's still honing your black. Still, we don't do that in my household. Being confident, like being assertive in that aspect. And then it's just you get picked on as kids, gotten picked on before, and then it's just okay. I'm tired of this. Then it's okay. No one's passing me the ball. I want the ball. And then it's okay. How do I pass the ball now to people because I know how to score? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like I know that I know how to have the ball, but actually scoring is what I need to do more consistently.
That's fire. Yo, so man, again, this is why this is why you're here. Because it's this your journey and your approach to it. But let's even what made Gettysburg the college of choice or the college you went to, maybe?
I really am a believer in faith and energy in God, and I'm just going to chop it up to God. I did not want to go there. I did not think I was going to go there. I honestly was looking at Rutgers for other reasons and University of Delaware.
Party schools. 100%. No, I mean University of Delaware.
College wasn't for me, but I'm blessed I went and graduated.
Facts. That's real. And if you did go to University of Delaware, shout outs to you, salute and all that. Glad you made it if you got it. But let me tell you something. I didn't even go to that school and I got the text messages for the parties. Like it was legit lit.
Okay.
But yeah. So like just way that trajectory that going out. Let's take a moment to think about the beginning stages of a photographer. For someone who might be watching right now, that's like, damn, that's dope that he got a photo and all that off. But where do I start? Where do you start?
With a camera.
Any, right? Or how's
honestly any camera. Start with your iPhone. I mean, there's so many people who say they don't have photographers who say they're out of work because they don't have a camera. Start with your iPhone. Start with your learning your basic fundamentals, rule of thirds, the depths, field of depth, even color correction. And then just pick up a camera and keep going. And just take pictures of anything. Get low on the ground, get high, take different angles and see what you like. And literally, there's no wrong picture. There's really no wrong picture. I can't tell you what looks good to me versus what looks good to somebody else. I just like what I like.
Yeah.
So shoot what you like and keep liking it, and then you're gonna fall in love with it, and then people might fall in love with it, and then you might do something different. And just pick what you like and stick with it,
bro. All gyms, he's shooting from 3 right now. Like I don't know, but like we're doing an ISO for you. Like you Devin Booker in a bubble right now. Like going off. He was going off. So when it gets back to this space and you find yourself like, okay, like I'm good at this. I'm in the room. People know me to be the room. Talk about pricing yourself and setting your value
So
at that point.
I'm here now quarantining. Like right now, things just started picking back up. I need to say enough, but it's been hard being in the room virtually too.
Sure.
So the price changes, of course, because now you have to see what you have to see what you're worth versus what someone else is worth. Like you all are doing an amazing job right now. This is company, you know what I mean? This is
Thank
really,
you. Thank you.
This is dope. I've been in different rooms, and it's hard to go to what gives you how do I say this? It's hard to do what gives you exposure, and then also see what your pockets are going to look like. You know, you have to support the people that are supporting you.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, dang, I know this costs more than what the average person can afford.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm learning it. I have my price sheet, yes, on my website. I'm going through that now.
Sure.
I'm changing that up. But it's I have my price set for entertainers and celebrities, and my concert sheet is set. You know, that's what I do. I'm a concert photographer, so that price doesn't change, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
I learned that last year. I learned that last like nothing. No, it's not changing.
Yeah. It was like a call. Someone was like, "Hey,
Mhm.
drop that," and without putting out someone, talk about having that conversation because I think that's a powerful one.
Whew. You're talking to people who have shaken hands with powerful A&Rs, and I've had conversations with folks, managers. It's like, yeah, we've been around the world. What do we need you for? And then it's like, well, why are you talking to me? You know, you're clearly having a conversation. Go get somebody else.
Yeah.
And you have to stand on that. Go get somebody else, but believe that you're that somebody they need. That's really it. It's really like I deliver something every time consistently.
Yeah.
We're having that conversation because I only know what to do, what I know how to do, and it's consistent. It's me beat. And so if you don't want to pay for what I deliver, then I have friends that you can call.
Yeah.
Call Sean Cooper, call Yogi, call China, call them so.
That's fine. Do you realize that y'all are like the DMV photographers are a gang out here now?
Oh
right?
yeah, we're
like,
deep.
Like
we're
how
deep.
like talk about the scene as a photographer right now in DC or the DMV.
If you hopped in our group messages, you would think we didn't like each other.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Why?
so competitive. But it's so much love.
Oh,
Because there's so much money out here to get that we all don't have to be in we can be in the same highway, but just so many different lanes. There's so many different fields of what we do.
yeah.
And I want to say, as being someone who captures visuals, captures things, I can see the big picture of we're in the same room, but you're fighting for the same table. Why? We can all sit in here and eat. That's how I feel like photographers in DV move. They're like, if I have a gig and I can't be there, I know like probably a list of 100 people I can call right now in a group chat. That's just how much love we show.
That's dope.
I think, DMV photographers need to be the wave of how the DMV should be.
100%, and I think that's honestly even like just this platform itself. Like when you look at it, it's like the creators we brought. Like Sean's been on the show, Sping's been on the show. Like my guy Lewis, the shooter behind all this, is on the show, and we just dropped those photos in the streets too. Like what I love about the photographers here is that, of course, everyone understands their value, but they also understand the value in building out. The value in building the community that can afford the work that we want to produce. Because that's the thing. Like you can't, how can I put it? You can't charge stadium prices in a high school gym. Like, so, all right, let's go build the stadium and now make it on them to pay us to come to the stadium.
And that's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to do. There's an all Asian ran studio on 52 O Street. They Creative Hands, I believe. These dudes have the first Asian ran film developing company.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Jerry and them. It's dope.
That's fire.
And they're just expanding the idea even more. And just starting there and seeing everyone else in the DMV doing their thing too.
And what the beauty of it that you start to see too is like, yo, everyone has their own space. Like they're in 52. Oh, Sean's in 52. Like that, he's there. Talk about your space. Let's kick it. Let's kick it.
The first Black-owned creative community space in the DMV. Man, we've been going. We came from 52, but now we're over here at the dojo. There's so much more history to the dojo. I will let the other guys. I think I don't have your merch on right now, but we have backdrops for sale. We have renting. We rent out a photography space. We've done production there. We've done live music productions there. We've done recordings there, music recordings, podcast space. For me, it's a mental clarity space to create. Yeah.
That's fire.
That's dope for me.
Nah, it's fire. So and even how you guys kind of bring in this whole community, you know, of creatives,
Yeah.
right? Because again, I went recently and I even saw my guy Sean's name on there. I'm like, this is what it's about. It's about like seeing each other's stamps in each other's settings, and it's like I've been there. Like I know who's been through here.
Because you can go to the rap studio, you see one rapper sign.
Yeah,
Nah, it's cool that you see that. Like
that's
other photographers sign up at your studio.
y'all are legit shooters out there. But so one thing that you mentioned that I want to go back to a little bit too. You talked about making the conscious effort of being a concert photographer.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
what made? I mean, we talked about your things that you like.
Yes.
They all are at concerts. Every single item that you mentioned.
Yes.
This
is true.
Like
is true.
every single. So it's your lane.
Shoot, I'm single as ever. I can get caught up in that. I don't know.
You're
Like,
single as ever. You can talk about whatever you want to. Hey, how much fun do you? Nah, but I mean, what's been the most entertaining thing you've seen at as a concert photographer? Let's go there.
I'm 30 years old now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been shooting concerts for 5 years. I've been getting paid to shoot concerts for 3. I've shot rock shows to R&B to violinists to just straight rap.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I don't want to expose anything. What's the craziest thing? What do you find crazy?
A moment that made you stop and say, I can't believe this has happened. Like, this is wild. Like, look at this.
I was at a Keith Sweat show and seeing these old women take off their panties was kind of wild to me. I'm like, dang, you're 65 years old throwing in that Keith Sweat's heavyweight self. But
he still got it.
So
he still got it.
I want to say the wildest show tours I've been on, and I went on an R&B tour, and that was probably the R&B bag is different. I'll say the R&B set was very different.
How so? Or what can you say without
real cougars in the air.
Really?
Yeah, they're very wild. Very like, this can't be my mother type thing, you know.
You go home asking questions like, yo, what concert you went to last year?
I want to keep it real. The rap shows have been calm.
Really?
Yeah, I did 3 shows with Earth Gang. That was calm, cool. But I like the festivals more so. Festivals are a whole nother realm, bro. My favorite festival probably had to be Afropunk too.
That's a good one. Now, see, this one was one of my favorites to see you do.
What show?
Dipset
what
reunion.
The Dipset reunion. Yeah, was that I did that. So I shot Dipset twice.
Because they came to Howard.
They came to Howard. That was Dipset.
I was at Howard with Dipset show.
Okay, then that was there.
Yeah,
that was there.
That was a show.
That was there. That was the energy. You remember that whole bunch of old head New Yorkers,
bruh. Let me tell you something.
Didn't they?
They did,
Yes,
and the moment when they were like, and for me, it was just like, because I think they even brought out some other people. Like, I want to say that was when either Beanie came out. Like, they brought out somebody else too, but
they brought out Conway and them.
Yeah.
Before they brought out Conway.
Griselda.
They brought out Griselda before Griselda was Griselda for real.
Yo, look.
I was like, dang. I think that was the show.
Have you done Griselda? Like, so the world's changed.
I met Griselda twice before, and this was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So
my thinking was like, who are these old dudes giving it up like this?
Bro.
Not knowing they were about to pop.
Bro. They like, if you don't have a Griselda set in your car, you're missing out. Like, that's like the motivation music right now.
I'm bumping right now. A West Side Gun just dropped this, and it's called Sunshine or something.
Oh yeah.
The intro track is motivating.
I ain't gonna hold you. Benny's my favorite out of the group.
Too.
And he just got a record on Russ's new project, which
congrats. Shout out to Benny when we meet you.
Right, like I know we're doing a lot of free promo for that, but I will tell you, it's a record with Russ, Benny, and Black Thought, Fire Piece. But
I had a pleasure to meet Black Thought.
Really?
Yes, sir. That was very humbling. Him and Quest.
Really?
Quest at it was a DC show. It was at Merriweather Summer Spirit Fest.
Dope. Okay, nah, that's the people to meet. And so, like, let's talk about that though, in the sense of pivoting, right? Because you're a concert photographer.
Yes.
There are not concerts.
Mhm.
How have you been able to pivot?
Mentally, I wasn't able to pivot well because music was my outlet.
Mm.
And so physically and creatively, I had to pivot, and it's a blessing that I had the dojo to pivot to. Um, I'm in here doing. I've been doing more weddings. I did a couple COVID weddings. Rustic. They were very beautiful.
Yeah.
More in studio shoots. My studio photography is gotten so much better.
Yeah.
So much better, and I can't wait to see where it is. Like in a couple weeks. Like I'm in there every day. It's like being in the gym. I'm literally just taking up different shots every day.
That's hot.
But luckily, I've been blessed that people are trying to get the concert wave back. I got something I'm working on with Willie Salas, comedian, Cypher Sounds, comedian. I was just in New York with them, working on a comedy series with them. And hopefully, I'm about to be in Texas coming up for some.
That's lit. That's lit.
Really big happening with that.
Yeah, and I mean, they Rolling Loud announced that they back.
So that I don't even know if I want to shoot a festival right now. I'm
gonna be
good.
honest. It's a couple like I don't want to attend one right now.
I need the bag.
The bag, you need the life insurance.
The life insurance.
Hey, bump the bag. Like the bag will be high, but it's gonna be that protocol after. Right. Right. I need all the waivers clear.
That's another thing. Photographers need to get their insurance game proper, man. I fell off stage one time.
Really?
Yes.
So how do you go about like proper insurance as a freelancer or getting yourself acclimated?
I'm not there, so I'm not fully sure, but I know you need to get your LLC before anything. I know you need to have yourself incorporated if that's the case. I mean, not incorporated, but have yourself on the tax bracket.
Sure.
But I don't know. If you find out for me, please let me know.
The YouTubes?
No, yes, sir.
That's fine. Nah, I mean, but you know what? But when you think about it again, it's a life that it looks good from a distance for people, right? Like, yo, you're close. You get to go to concerts for free, and you get paid. Like, that's the life. But
I'm at the show. I'm hungry at the show. I'm probably there early. I'm coordinating with the lighting director. Depending if I'm getting paid by the artist or the venue. I'm coordinating with the lighting director. I'm so cool with so many lighting directors. I've gotten to set up my own show based upon the artist of how my lights I want it to be for that day. And then I'm taking the pictures, behind the scene pictures, and then I have to edit, give them at least 20 pictures so they can produce and drop for Instagram within 24 hours or less. And then let me hop into, I got to go to my 9 to 5. So I choose this life.
And that's not even like talking about like the people drunk at the show over you, like,
man,
and
that temptation still being, a
single?
man, still being a single man at that. The temptations of the show has been crazy.
Because the access
is yeah.
It's alluring. Like it's alluring. And so, yeah, like, I mean,
that's why you gotta be focused.
But and that's funny because again, it's like choose your hard or what do you want to sacrifice, right? Yeah. Because yes, I'm here. I see this. I experienced this moment. But you just listed a 24-hour schedule that required a cognitive thought where most people's thought is, what am I going to wear to the show? Like, in comparison.
My favorite shots I saw a day before I shot it.
Really?
Like, how sports again.
Yeah.
I shoot from this shot on the court every time. Mm-hmm. So if the stage is the same, I've been on the stage, I know how I'm going to shoot this. I'm probably warming up before the show starts. So during sound check, I'm in the corner, like not really taking shots, but I'm putting up practice shots.
Yeah.
And seeing where my artists will be, seeing how they're gonna walk, seeing how their mood is for that day. And when that third song hits, I know the energy is gonna be proper and I already have my shots. If I'm gonna be in the crowd for the energy or if I'm gonna be on the stage if I have that access.
Yeah.
And where I'll be on stage for that shot, Like some of my favorite shots are my gold link shots. Just
I had a few queued up. I'm sorry I don't got the gold link ones.
No, you're good.
I had a few, but nah. That so what made those some of your
I wanna say,
favorites?
what were some of your favorites? I guess.
I mean, nah. I was honestly going off of context and textures, right? So like, for instance, I'm gonna pull up the one of Sean. Like, I really rock with this photo that you have here. Oh, got you. Hold up, we're gonna reconfigure the connection for 5 seconds. But this one of Sean Cooper, cool. All right, or not. Hey, there we go. This one.
That's young Sean.
Yeah, it is. But you also started a series where you had like people had like I'm a depth of field kind of guy personally. So like I love shots that kind of give like that close up and that depth of field that came with that particular photo. And there's some other ones we can get to, but
It's called bokeh.
Really?
Bokeh effect. You can do it depending on what kind of aperture you have in your lens. So like that's the number you receive, 1.8. That's what I probably shot that at 1.4. But it was a series called, I don't even want to promote it right now because I love put the idea out there and someone else took it, but it's called You Matter.
Oh, dope.
And I started to get, because from Portland, the guy pointed at me and was pointing at people and smiling, and that made me feel like I had mattered that day. So that's where I went from that,
And not to take you down a path, but let's talk about like having an idea and falling off with it, because I think that's something that we all do creatively.
Yeah.
Like, what was that process of not just manifestation, but almost acceptance and still pushing through yourself, like not saying that was it for me and settling.
I had an girlfriend about 6-7 years ago, and I took a picture of Malik the Dope Drummer at this radio station at College Park, Maryland, called Hip Hop Yoga at the time, sponsored by Paperboy, Prince of the Suburbs.
Yeah.
And he's drumming, and I had a picture when he posted it. It went like 300 pictures, 300 likes at the time, right? Back then,
oh, shit, that meant something. Oh, we in the hundreds.
And she's like, "Oh, look who just posted your stuff." I was like, "That's cool," But I wasn't excited as everyone else was around me. I don't know why, but I'm like, this is gonna happen again. I just knew it was gonna happen again. And then this is my homie now. Me and Malik are like this. That's the homie. So it's full circle how things are happening. I just don't have any expectations of what could happen next. I just know if I keep moving properly and positively and building better for myself and just instilling faith and being a vessel for people to rub off on, things are going to happen. Things good are going to come. Like good things are definitely going to come.
And moving like that right now, and I know you don't look ahead, like you literally just said you don't look ahead, but where do you feel like you're going right now? Like what is, or not even, let's bring it back some. Where do you feel presently?
That's deep. That's a good question, man. So I'm going through life and walking right now. I feel present. I really feel present in the purpose of giving smiles and providing smiles and making people feel good, especially those who give out so much energy to others. That's where I feel perfectly present. The concert entertainment industry is where I feel most present. That's what's been given back to me too right now.
And so, all right, let's play a game of, we're going to control it. Like we can control it. Like concerts come back.
Yeah.
How do we move now going forward? How do you move as a photographer going forward?
Oh,
knowing
I'm moving so ruthless, very ruthless.
Yeah.
One, I would like to make sure there's no other. I'm getting specific only like with the artist or the management. I'm sorry, management, artist. Hey, can I be this? I'm going to be this. Cool. It's just you and I, intimate moment. No one else around. I don't want any other photographers. That's how I'm going to move. I know that sucks, not giving anyone else an opportunity, but come on, times are in.
Yeah.
And that kind of controls the narrative of the shots that I get to select.
I mean, no, I love that, and to your example, shout outs to the homie. I think it's like Sean Cooper and what he's doing, like with art, like that's.
I'm super proud of my guy. Like,
yeah.
So
you want to do that? Oh, 100%, man.
I don't necessarily want to do what Sean's doing because I don't do what Sean does.
Sure.
Like he's a concert photographer as well.
Yeah.
We shoot completely different. Our energy is different. Even behind the scenes is different. I can't do what he does, and I don't think he can do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
every time I try and put my wide angle lens and hit the orange fade and I can't do that.
Yeah.
But then put my 50 millimeter on, get that close that close like action shot.
Yeah.
We literally have stood side by side and have the same moment, but the shot looks completely different.
Yo, honestly, that would be like if there's a gallery I would want to see, it would be a gallery of just shooters in one shot. And
me, China, me, Made in China, Sean Cooper, Abby the homie, and homie Terrence. He goes by what is Terrence's Instagram? Raw photography or something like that.
Mhm.
I forgot. I apologize, T. But we all went to Atlanta, and for the AC3 festival, we were all in the pit together. DMV artists, all of Atlanta.
that's
Everyone
hard.
shot looked different.
That's hard.
Everyone shot.
That's hard.
And that's why I like DMV photographers. You can't go like a DMV rapper or a DMV basketball player or something. They're all going to dribble the same. They're all going to sound the same. DMV photographer, we see different things.
That's hard.
You know what I'm saying, like, we all see something different.
Bro. So I'm inspired by this energy.
I'm inspired by being here. Thank you for having me.
Like, you know,
Oh God.
I think that what you're a part of in this DMV photography and just overall as a creative realm is the foundation for what's about to come. Like whatever is built on next, it took this groundwork of collaboration and community. And even when, you know, and what I love is, again, there's genuine love. There's genuine, yo, my man's is good. Like my man's is nice. Like it's no, I mean, he cool, but you know, I shoot better. I shoot different. Everyone's jump shot's different.
Yeah.
And so everyone's camera shot
There's
is
some
different.
whack jumpers out here though too.
Huh?
There's some whack jumpers.
Oh
out
no,
here.
it's oh wait, no, I ain't even gonna do my guy like that for the DMV, but there's some people who shot corrections gotta come in.
The whack jumper. my homie Ford just joined. I know exactly that line.
And so, you know, with this platform that you built, with the way the community is going, how can you give back the way that you envision? Like, what does giving back look like for you on this path?
Whew. Oh man, teaching. I wish there was a camera course when I was younger. There's a school the dojo is working with called the Creative School, and it started off with a guy. He had kids from about 7 to 12 years old. Called it Kings with Cameras. And all these kids would get cameras, and we're trying to fund this right now. We're trying to get more grants for this and bring it to the dojo, have it as a teacher school out of that. I would love to give back to kids and have kids have a camera in their hands, because the perspective that a child has is really endless. The creativity in the mind that a child has, we need to learn from.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering, like, hey, I give the child a camera. Go walk off with that. Just trust the kid to have this expensive equipment. Walk off and come back like, hey, I like this. And you see the joy in them liking what they took.
Yeah.
That's cool to me, man.
Nah,
Really,
I think
man,
of
like that.
I think of Miles.
Yes, the young
yeah.
Miles.
Yeah.
You see him walk around?
He proud with that camera too. Like
Proud.
that, but it's that, because you know what I also realized too. You know, when a kid is young and they're like, their parents are like, get into sports, they'll go all out.
Yes.
They'll get the LeBrons, they'll get the sleeves, the Nike, Under Armour, all of that. When it comes to creative fields, because we're suppressed or they're suppressed young, kids don't get that same type of investment or push. And so it's heartbreaking, because you see like the shooter, like the young shooter, and what he does, and you're like, more kids could find that joy, because not all kids are athletic.
He's in shape.
Yeah,
kid's in shape. He's moving around. He's doing what he has to do, and he's doing it with a smile.
Yeah,
he's not sitting on the bench anywhere. He's not breaking.
Yeah,
I'm teetering both lines. My child's definitely gonna have a creative outlet. I'm gonna.
It's going to be around.
It's going to be open. Yes,
sure.
It's definitely going to be around.
Sure.
Definitely going to be around.
Yo, so okay, so like I feel like we went through just a great amount of your journey and where you've been, like the dojo now, all these things happening. What other things are you working on personally that you're like, this is home for me? Like, go ahead, answer that first, and I got another question.
Okay. Right now I'm really working on solidifying this comedy bag. As a comedy photographer. there's a lot going on right now in the comedy world, and folks I'm believing what they're doing, and I would love to fully like thoroughly be around more consistently and see how I could push that vision for them.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm curious to hear. I mean, it's offline.
We're not listening to music as much anymore because music is just being saying any which direction, and the comedians are the ones now making us laugh and listen.
I mean, honestly, it's about that owning platform. I think, and I don't want to just give it to just one comedian because I think it's an entire industry. But you have to always look at who's on top of the hill and how they're moving, right? And you look at like a Dave Chappelle and how he's moving, and it's like intentional with his words, intentional with his platform, and so it trickles down to anyone in that industry. Same could be said when Hove was on top of the game consistently. Like the rappers that came up under that claw, they knew they had to perform to a certain standard. So it's really about who's on top of that industry, how are they moving, and can you follow that direction? And so my one question that I was going to just ask you too, because I don't want this to get lost, because I think it should be appreciated as a creative, supporting yourself with a 9 to 5. How, like, I know that's a lot of lack of sleep, but what does the sacrifice look like to support a dream and a roof over your head?
What's the sacrifice to support the dream and a roof over your head? The sacrifice has been lost friendships, lost relationships, lost love, lack of sleep. But in the midst of that, you find different self-love. You find a new energetic way to compete and go be better with your passion. Yeah. You find people who are passionate about the same thing. You find other things you're passionate about. And then at the same time, you're still humble and stable, coming back like, wait, this was fun, but this is real life. You know, whatever reality is to a creative, we still have to accept what others think when the norm is.
Bro, this has been one of my just personally just favorite conversations, just on a level because of the timing of it. Yeah, it's lit. Like you definitely been dropping bars and all that. So I have to ask you the question that I ask anyone that comes on the show. All right, and that is, it is a heavy question, but what does legacy look like for you?
Legacy. Can I real quick get into it?
Go, please. I made sure to leave time on the clock to get bars off.
I'm not gonna wrap you up then.
Nah, you good.
The reason why I picked up a camera is because of my grandmother, and she always had a picture of everything we did. But at her funeral, there were no pictures of her. There was pictures of the family, there's pictures of everyone else, but you could hear everyone at the funeral saying, "Oh, I remember when Valerie took this picture of us," or "I remember she made us smile and laugh at this picture," or "I remember she got us dressed up for this picture." That's legacy to me. Not being in the picture, but you remember I was there to take it.
Wow.
Like, that's kind of what it is for me.
Yo, that's hard. Like and man, so like that, and the funny thing, because even prior to us just kicking off this show, is like I'm getting in front of the camera, like, you know, this is a cognitive thought. Like man, this works. Like I don't know how they do it.
I'm over here shaking and everything. Like, how do y'all do this?
Bro, nah, you I mean, it's not about, and this again, this platform is about the people who actually build out the work that everyone sees and they get to enjoy and they love, but they didn't necessarily know who was behind it, because our stories are sometimes greater. Like your story of motivation might be more realistic for someone coming up than to actually be a Nipsey. Like, it's harder to get there. Not saying that what you're doing is easy. It takes work, it takes effort, but sometimes it just takes the knowledge. Like, the reason why we want to be athletes when they grow up is because we see them on TV all the time. So if we can have this platform where the photographers, the shooters, the creatives are the people that we get to see in this space and platform, then we know for a fact that kids can look up and say, "Hey, I want to try that." Yep. So, you know, it might be a niece or nephew or a distant cousins that might see you on here, like, "Oh, what you do is good enough to be on TV. What do you do?" And that's what we're here for, man. So I appreciate you, man.
Nah, man, I definitely.
Hey, man, we all, you know, you good. Like, I genuinely appreciate you and this energy and space, because it was timely for me. It was affirmation for me, and like just this path that we're on. But bigger than that, man, it's understanding that we got to build out. Like, regardless, at the end of the day, that mindset of stadium versus high school gymnasium is what we are on here, and I'm glad to be here in the DMV doing this. You know, so
that reminder.
With that said, man, I've been locked in on this. I know we got my guy A who had a beat for us, so we're gonna go over. Let's tap in on the beat real quick, and we're gonna come back and close out with my guy here.
All right, y'all, it's your boy Ant. As you can see, we got the track laced up, about to hit play. Let's take a listen, see what it sounds like.
Hey.
So yeah, there y'all have it, man. Y'all can find the full version of that jump on my Instagram, AYE__ANT Cook. Appreciate you, brother. I'll let your boy.
My guy, man, I appreciate you too. Look, as always, love the vibe, love the music, love the energy you brought. Man, this has been an episode. Like, this has been one of the ones I gotta go back and watch later just in case I need to re-energize. Please, sir, like, and we didn't even get to your name. Like, I was supposed to ask you like the depth of your name, but you know, we gonna make sure to give him more because we definitely, you know, of course, gonna keep building and just, you know, make sure to show love. But please close this out. Like, tell the people where they can support you, how they can support you, and the things you got going on.
Man, just a life lever, but you can follow me at Carnegie 2_ or CarnegieCaptures.com, CARNEGIE captures.com. I'm everywhere. I'm not really outside right now.
No, none of us are. Like, this is a thought out plan, and no one but staff. Like, this is essential work right now.
This is dope. This is safe. This is clean. This is sound. I like it. You guys are doing a great job.
I appreciate that, man. Well, look, to all my creators, I hope you guys got the motivation and inspiration and everything else you need to execute. Understand that the journey is not one that's linear. It's a lot of twists and turns, but make sure no matter what phase in life you go to, you take the parts of you from your past. Like, you took basketball to photography. Anybody out there, I'm sure there's been things you've done as a kid that you can incorporate in your adult life and your creativity. Never stop being a creative. Good morning. Stay cooking. I appreciate you.